There's 16,000 players a year that come out every single year, Division 1, 2, and 3.
Right out of college.
Right out of college, NAIA, all the various schools. There's only 200 jobs that turn over between the National Football League and the Canadian Football League combined. So what do you do with all that talent, that explosion of human potential?
Welcome to Experts and Authorities. I'm Conrad Negron, your host. We've got a great show today. We've got the head coach of the SoCal Coyotes, J. David Miller. The Coyotes are the #1 developmental football team in America. Coach Miller, how are you?
Fantastic, Conrad. Great to be here.
Hey, thanks for coming in. Tell us a little bit about the brief history. How did the Coyotes start?
Well, the Coyotes filled a void for leadership, not only in the Coachella Valley community, but in the hearts and lives of young men, ages 18 to 34. Developing players, men that are looking to develop both as fathers, husbands, and men, but great football players that are looking to get to the next level. And we have filled a vacuum and created what has become the national standard for developmental professional football in the United States today.
So is that very similar to like minor league baseball, which the NFL doesn't have?
Well, the baseball's figured it out. And, clearly they've got, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, single, double, triple A baseball, and baseball has done a fantastic job with the farm system, and that doesn't exist for the National Football League. There's 16,000 players a year that come out every single year, Division 1, 2, and 3.
Right out of college.
Right out of college, NAIA, all the various schools. There's only 200 jobs that turn over between the National Football League and the Canadian Football League combined. So what do you do with all that talent, that explosion of human potential? All these kids are type A's. All these kids have been training and working all their life, aspiring to be great. And all of a sudden you got 15,800 kids with literally a very well-prepared workforce with no place to go. And so the vacuum for developmental professional football has been great, and the Coyotes have filled that role.
Well, the NFL has been talking about, I think by 2020, that they need developmental football because it's not working for them.
Well, there's an epidemic of problems throughout the National Football League, and the reason that exists is because they don't understand the soft processes. You can bring a group of 30, 40 guys together and put helmets on them and put jerseys on them and call them a team, but if there's no soft process in which for those guys to deliver their life skills, that's the challenge. So what do you do, and how do you pour money into that? So you're dividing a pot. The National Football League is a $1 billion empire. They're an entertainment conglomerate. How do they divide up that money into the need for developmental football? Why would they divide that pie? So unless you can find a process that makes sense to the municipalities of the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and find a place for those kids to find a home, to build and become part of the fabric of the community, it makes no sense for the NFL. So they have not been able to figure that out. We have resolved that right here in the Coachella Valley. We have integrated ourselves with the municipalities, with law enforcement, with education, with educators. So our players throughout the Coachella Valley, throughout the middle schools, throughout the high schools, through all of our soft processes, we're delivering a program that not only delivers a game-ready athlete, it delivers a life-ready man.
How many years have you been going now? How many seasons are under your belt?
When we open September 2nd, it'll be the start of our commemorative 10th season. So we've played back-to-back